Today was.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
We are
New
on the
chapter.
air.
Okay. Yay! We're on the air.
Hello, everyone.
It's
Welcome.
like not morning, but it might as well be morning for us.
I also woke up about an hour ago. Uncharacteristically, instead of having water or a soft drink, I have a cup of hot chocolate.
Wow.
So I have a hot drink this time, as we're playing Umineko.
There you go.
Yeah.
That
Also,
might
I see
soothe your
your
throat.
little thumbnail there, sir.
Yeah, you know what that's from?
Is it from the pachinko?
No, it's from the fighting game.
Oh! Dang.
It's the what do you call that? Like the character select art.
Okay, 1 second. I think it might be using the wrong microphone for me.
I believe it is because you sound very tinny.
Yep. I was wondering because it was doing that finicky thing it was doing earlier last time.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was not detecting my microphone. No, this is incorrect. You are incorrect. Can you still hear me right now?
Yeah.
Okay, because my microphone's unplugged. So yeah, it's definitely not using the right microphone. I was about to say something did not. It sounded like my microphone was like across the room from me in the stream. Is it?
That's really funny.
Let me unplug this. See if it's not using that. It might be using my webcam mic.
That'd be funny.
Let me unplug that.
Oh, things sound better.
You still hear me? Uh-oh.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you sound good now.
Okay, it was using my webcam mic.
Dang. Ooh. I get the purpose and the ease of the webcam mics, but like the mic quality for webcam mics is so bad usually.
Yes.
I don't know who spun that into a good idea.
I don't know. I'm assuming it was for like the purposes of like
business stuff.
Yeah, it's just the ease of like you don't really need to have a good microphone for business meetings or anything like that. You just need to be able to be heard.
Yeah,
So
I found out
mic is
recently.
okay.
This is my last silly thing I'll share before we get into our recap. I found out not too long ago my boss, like the super boss of where I work,
Yeah.
uses a gamer headset for all business meetings because it has the best mic quality.
Dang.
It's so funny. It's
Real
so
recognizes
funny
real.
Yeah. Oh, especially if you know where I work, it's really funny.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're back. Do you want to talk about what you remember happening last time?
My poor girl.
Yeah.
It's looking really, really a lot like Shannon is supposed to at least getting set up to be Beatrice. That was pretty much like all of last episode was just them being like, oh, look, Shannon has developed this little cute relationship with Battler when they're like little kids. Oh, they like each other. They have crushes. Sure hope Battler remembers this promise that he made. And then 1 year passed. And then 2 years passed. And it wasn't on year 3 that she was like, I can't do this anymore.
I believe it was, and then we had just started up in the 4th year.
Yeah. So poor Shannon tried her best to be like, he's definitely gonna come back and I love him and I want him, so I'm gonna wait as long as it takes. And after 3 years she was like, I don't know if I can wait anymore. So supposedly, according to the game, according to what we saw, excuse me, Witch Beatrice, who again, at this point in time, based on the information we have been given, was the child of Kinzo and Kuwadori and Beatrice, who just one day decided, I don't want to be around here anymore, I'm gonna go be a witch, and then popped out of existence and became a witch. That Beatrice supposedly was like, I'm Shannon's best friend still, and I feel really bad for her, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take her love for Battler from her, put it in me like a safe. I'm gonna lock it away so that she doesn't have to feel the pain. But if Battler ever comes back, I'll give it back to her, so then that she can love Battler, and everything will be okay again. But for the meantime, I'm gonna love Battler and feel everything that Shannon feels for Battler, because I also want to know what love is, because Shannon told me it was so great and so tasty, but I could never understand it. So now I'll get Shannon's love, but I also have to have the pain of not having Battler be here. Sound good? Okay. And that's what happened. And that's like the explanation you can take if you're like, yeah, everything is 100% as it's being described to me. This is definitely exactly real. The magic stuff is real. The Beatrice is Beatrice, and this is how it happened. But also there's the other side of it, which I briefly kind of tried to explain when I did my Shannon is Beatrice theory, which is like, this is Shannon's like mindscape. Beatrice is like a coping mechanism that she has. And she has like locked away her love for Battler inside her head somewhere now, so that she doesn't have to feel the pain of him not coming back. Which also does kind of, it serves a little bit as an explanation for the like, why would she kill so many people? She's not mentally well. She
What? With that smile of Shannon's.
I do like Shannon a lot. Like I said last episode, she's probably one of my top 3 favorite characters in Umineko so far. That probably being Battler, then Beatrice, then Shannon. Which, funnily enough, it might not be a top 3 anymore. It might have to be a top 2.
I am really hoping that by the end of this, your top 3 will change to one specific person, but I can't say why.
Okay.
It'll just, when we get there, it'll be really funny. The only thing I'll throw you is this. You already sussed about how Shannon was, like, unaged 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So who is Shannon?
True. Interesting.
The last one did all talk about how Shannon fell in love with Battler and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But they were also of similar age. But the Shannon we know is not of similar age to Battler 6 years ago.
True. Oh, God.
You're getting somewhere. You just gotta connect the dots a little bit.
I'm thinking, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't like what I'm thinking.
Just chew on it a little bit.
Okay.
The other thing we were told by Will last time is, it was like, how'd you become such a powerful witch? Leon was like, and Will was like, oh, you solved the epitaph.
So yeah, that was, I forgot we discussed that. It's implied, if you're not going by a magic route, that becoming a powerful witch is Beatrice getting all the gold, and thus becoming very wealthy and basically able to use money to solve all of her problems. Which then does actually put her in that position that we saw in episode 1 and 2, where she's like, I'm the family alchemist, I own everything. Kinzo doesn't talk about me, but because she did solve the epitaph, so she technically does have everything. But now, we cut to this, which I'm assuming is going to be something we're very familiar with. But now we're seeing it for the first time, not the first time, but the first time here, first time.
True.
People in this timeline are seeing it for the first time.
Yes. I think for now we're back to you largely being the narrator, but
okay.
You know how this book has been. We'll play it.
Yeah.
Play it by ear.
Hello, Onklid. Yep. Men in work clothes were spreading a tarp over a section of the hall. From the way they measured the wall and set out tools, it could be seen that they were planning some sort of construction project. This is of the utmost importance to the Master. Be sure that you do not damage it. The president of the construction company nodded his head several times to show that he understood. Then, 6 young workers carried in a large rectangular object wrapped in a white sheet. It is imperative that the rectangular object remain undamaged.
Exactly. I'll do this. Okay, careful there. Set her down gently. I said gently.
Is this the spot?
Great, let's get started.
Apparently, they were putting something large on the wall of the hall.
He plans to hang that thing there?
That's what he wants. After all, this mansion is little more than one of Father's toys. Natsuhi took a deep breath. Though this was a whim of Kinzo's, a man she greatly respected, she seemed to resist the idea of hanging it right here in the entrance hall, the face of the mansion. Yes, Uncle, we are starting 1 hour early.
Yeah.
When the white sheet was pulled off, a Western woman wearing a beautiful dress came into view. It was a massive portrait of a woman.
Is it proceeding well?
Yes, they will be finished by this evening.
I would like to see it hanging there for all to see as soon as possible. I want you overseeing this, my friend.
Leave it to me. Father, it seems a splendid portrait.
Indeed. Quite exceptional quality. I am satisfied.
This is your benefactor? The woman who gave you the gold, right?
Indeed. If I had not met Beatrice, I would not be here, nor would the Ushiromiya family, nor would, of course, this mansion. It's only natural that her portrait be displayed in the best possible location.
Now that he had said it this bluntly, there would be no contradicting him. Kraus and Natsuhi could only shrug. Master, the epitaph plate is here. Would you please check to see that all is in order?
Indeed. Each and every word must be correct.
Epitaph? Kraus and Natsuhi crooked their heads and followed Kinzo. There it is!
Mm-hmm.
The leader of the workers set down a plate wrapped in a sheet, Kinzo's golden plates.
Mm-hmm.
The others thought that the picture's name and description might be on it. But it seemed to have a quite... Run that back. But it seemed to have quite a lot of words for that. This is Beatrice, this is Beatrice, this is Beatrice, this is Beatrice.
Mm-hmm.
Father, what is this?
Behold, the Sweetfish River running through my hometown. Oh, jingles. Jingles?
Did that just show up in the
Tips?
tips menu?
Tips? Tips?
No?
No. Huh?
Well, I don't know where that was.
Jingles?
Then. Maybe it's in the living tips?
No?
No.
Anything new about... No? Kraus said it. No? Not weird. Okay, I don't know.
I don't know. Read and interpret it as you like.
I know this one! So, we've finally reached the appearance of the epitaph and the portrait.
I don't know much about this epitaph. It doesn't exist in my world.
Probably not. In your world, there's already a clear successor. You. But not in this world.
In other words, this epitaph was set up to choose grandfather's successor after all?
Most likely. Or he might have wanted to believe in the chance of a miracle. A difficult riddle made so that no one would be able to solve it. If someone actually could solve it, they themselves would be a miracle. Perhaps that miracle would guide the person Kinzo most wanted to solve it.
In short, this epitaph really does depict a ceremony to revive the witch, Beatrice, just as everyone thought? That does seem to be the obvious interpretation. A mysterious ceremony sacrificing 13 people to revive the witch. However, the true ceremony wasn't that. It lies in wait for someone to miraculously solve it. That is the true ceremony. However, fate does have its irony.
Literally what Dukonkla just said. Man, what fancy writing. It would be a shame if someone read them as murder instructions. Genji already knew. Maybe Kinzo set this up in the first place because he guessed that Genji knew everything.
Was that fate a coincidence or something planned? I do not know. However, with this epitaph, the witch Beatrice will revive in the truest sense.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
it? That's it?
that's it.
Okay, I didn't expect that to be that short.
I'm kidding. That wasn't actually a chapter. That was like the intro to this chapter.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. Oh god.
Crack and open up. Okay.
This is Beatrice.
Now, would she have this voice yet? Would she at this point? Because she just did the I'll turn into the one battler likes.
True. I don't know. But oh well. It's here. Same sprite, she gets the same one.
True.
Oh, true. My soul was captured by the woman shown in that massive portrait. That might have been literally true. Or rather than captured, perhaps it would be better to say that my soul had returned to a more fitting place. The place it belonged. The beautiful blonde hair was the same as mine, but tied up. The dress she wore was a deep black, making that golden hair stand out all the more. This is the witch, Beatrice. My true form. What is this? I'm gonna assume it's gonna still be me.
Yeah.
There was a plate with too many words for it to be the title of the picture. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the Golden Land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. The Golden Land. I see. So my world. The Golden Land.
Yeah? Okay.
I've always called my own personal world a paradise. But tonight I shall change that. From now on, my world shall be the Golden Land. I am the master of the Golden Land, Beatrice. And then there is the brutal ceremony of sacrifices, starting on the first twilight. On the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. If I carry out this ceremony, will I revive in the truest sense? Then, on the 10th twilight, at journey's end, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures. One shall be all the gold from the Golden Land. Kinzo received a massive amount of gold from Beatrice, and rumor has it that it still lies hidden somewhere. Is this, as the family members and servants are all whispering, a code showing the location of Kinzo's hidden gold? If a human solves it, they will obtain a great quantity of gold. However, if I do, it will mean my own resurrection. Kinzo, you aging magician. Just when I was mocking the shortness of the time left to you, you start a game like this. How interesting. I'll definitely solve it.
Then I will revive as the real Beatrice. When that happens, I will use my great magical power to rule over object and man, day and night, and all of Rokkenjima.
And Battler.
Yeah.
That part's kind of been wedged in there now. That part.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone says that the epitaph is a guide to finding hidden treasure.
The rumors tell that the master has 10 tons of gold hidden away.
He's here!
Oh yeah, hi Canon. He's
Our
here.
boy.
I forgot about that too. Yes, and Beatrice supposedly gave it to him. I've heard that one too. 10 tons of gold. That would be incredible. I can hardly even imagine it.
If you had all that, what would you use it for? I'd like to touch it. Just once.
I'm glad to note that none of us were like, woohoo, Goda's finally on the island.
True. True, I forgot this is his first appearance in this.
Yeah. Forget touching it. I'd like to spend it all. But why would he go out of his way to display this epitaph? This code showing the hiding place of the gold. That's obvious. He's laughing at everyone since he thinks no one can solve it.
It's a challenge to the rest of us, isn't it? He wants to know if there's anyone here wise enough to solve it.
It seems that the master doesn't intend to let Kraus-sama take the headship easily. Perhaps the one who solves this will become his successor? Oh, hey.
Oh, this is the first time everyone's seeing it.
Yeah. Genji-san, what is this? Could this be a portrait of Beatrice? The Beatrice?
Correct. This is Beatrice-sama.
What on earth? There's a strange little poem-like thing over here.
What's this all about? It's almost like a pirate code that shows the way to hidden treasure. Genji-san, what does this mean?
The master said to read and interpret it as you wish. That riddle applies equally to all who can see the epitaph.
You said riddle just now, didn't you? That means this can be solved. Yes, that's it. Father doesn't want Nii-san to succeed him.
So, whoever solves this will become the successor.
Finally! The tables have finally turned!
Go. Okay. Dang it! I can't.
Oh,
1 second. It's.
yeah. City.
Oh my God! It's. We're gonna scene transition 5 times. Okay, there we go.
There we go. And I now have a real chance to become the head. There we go. What do you think, Kirie?
I really like this cafe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's extremely likely that this epitaph points to the location of the hidden gold.
Looks like Haneke thinks the one that solves it will be chosen as the successor.
That's another theory that might fit. Father certainly doesn't view Kraus-Nisan as an ideal successor. This might be a huge trick he's set up now that he's reaching the end of his years.
So, if you really solve this riddle, you stand to gain 10 tons of gold in the position of successor.
On the surface, perhaps. However, I'm sensing some malice, as though he doesn't think anyone capable of solving it. I doubt he made it to be solved easily.
True. Guess we won't have trouble looking for something to do over a drink for a while now. Ridiculous. How could anyone solve this?
Rosa tossed aside a notepad with the epitaph written on it and flopped over onto the sofa. Maria's got it instantly. She's got an
True.
unlock. She's solving this means 10 tons of gold.
Oh, okay. With that much, I'd never need to worry about schemes for cash again. If I had money, I could pay off my debts, and that man might come back to me.
Oh, Rosa.
I know where Father's beloved hometown is. And the Sweetfish River? There are many rivers there. What's the village supposed to be? I don't have a clue.
Oh, what's wrong, Mama?
Maria looked concerned. Kids are really good at riddles. So maybe
Did you ever make Ribbles back? Hey,
it
Maria,
is.
do you think you know the answer to this riddle?
Maria gazed at the paper with the epitaph on it as though she was trying to bore through it with her eyes. Her eyes opened wider and wider. You know, I never noticed Maria's eyes are purple.
Yeah. She's silly. She gets it from her father.
Oh.
What do you think, Maria? I guess it might be a bit too hard for you.
Nah, I believe in Maria.
This is a witch's ceremony, a resurrection ceremony for Beato. Where'd you get this? Hey, Mama, where'd you get this? I'm gonna ask Beato. I'm sure this ceremony will let Beato regain her full power. She'll be able to appear in front of everyone and do miracles of magic without having to worry about the anti-magic toxin anymore.
Rats. Right.
Thank goodness it faded to black. I did not want to see what was going to happen next.
True.
Look, even here he doesn't have the small painting in his study
Yeah,
yet.
it's just trees.
Yeah.
And the epitaph?
It seems the family members are all competing to solve the riddle.
Good. Let everyone try, and none will solve it, except for the one blessed by a miracle. If I let my guard down, even I might forget the process. That is how difficult it is.
It is quite difficult. Even I still don't know the exact answers. Because it is difficult, solving it will bring about a miracle.
Miracle generator.
Mm-hmm.
Precisely.
Gotta get me one of those.
This miracle shall be the last one I desire in my life. My final bit of magic. When a miracle comes and allows one to solve that complicated epitaph, it will surely mean Beatrice's resurrection. Oh, Beatrice. I just want to see your face one more time. I don't need wealth or honor anymore. If I could only meet you one more time.
This would be the last bit of magic that Kinzo, who realized he was facing his last years, would ever use. He was betting everything that Beatrice had given him, hoping to meet her just one more time, after being separated by death through 2 generations. His meeting with Beatrice that day had been the true beginning of his life, and even with them gone, Kinzo had remained there, alone, on the stage that had gone dark. The aged monarch had obtained everything, accomplished everything, but this was the one element that had always slipped through his fingers, no matter how much he struggled. If he could just have that element, he would need nothing else in life. In the end, perhaps his whole life was just a journey to learn that one single element makes up all that it means to be human. Hello, Caleb.
My friend, will my life's final bit of magic show me a miracle?
For a while, Genji was silent. He wasn't at a loss for words or struggling to find an answer. During that silence, something had passed between the two men, who had known each other for so long that their friendship surpassed that of master and servant.
No, that will do. No one will solve it. That's why a miracle will occur.
Master, please tell me one thing.
What is it?
If I ask you, if a miracle does occur, it may have been different during his youth, but in his old age, Genji rarely spoke of dreams and what-ifs. When Genji said, "if," Kenzo quietly waited for the words of the man he called a friend. If a miracle does occur, if your magic comes true, and Beatrice Sama does revive, what will you do? As the one closest to Kenzo, Genji obviously knew of the crazed feelings with which Kenzo had searched for Beatrice in the past. And yet, Genji was asking what Kenzo would do if Beatrice did revive. Master, at one time in the past, you experienced the miracle of Beatrice Sama being reborn. If that miracle happened again, what would you do?
My friend. So, after all, you do blame me.
I have no way of knowing everything in your heart and Beatrice Sama's. However, I believe I do understand at least part of the way in which Beatrice Sama adored you.
I lament the fact. You may not believe it, but as I have aged, I have come to regret all of it. If a miracle does occur, and Beatrice revives, of course I do not care if she knows nothing of the time she spent with me in the past. No, as long as she is Beatrice, I don't care who it is. I just want to apologize.
Is that truly how you feel?
Yes, my friend. I regret it. How deeply I regret those mistakes made in youth. You have aged as well, so you must know. One cannot feel guilt for the sins of their youth when one is still young. However, like deep thorns, they began to fester, torturing me. I, Ushiomi Kinzo, no longer care how I die. However, this thorn, this regret, is the one account I must settle. I will return everything to Beatrice, and I will ask her to forgive me for my sins. For that is my only and final wish. Oh.
Kinzo covered his eyes and sobbed. The aged monarch, who had built up great wealth in a single generation, was reaching the end of his life, and he could do nothing but sob because he wanted someone to apologize to.
Wasn't the epitaph a trial grandfather made to choose the successor?
I thought that at first, but it looks like the situation's a bit different.
At this point in time, I also thought it was a trial. That it was a game for selecting the successor, which Ushiromiya Kinzo decided upon on a whim. And it wasn't? This epitaph meant something for Ushiromiya Kinzo and Ranoe Genji that only the two of them could understand. So this was not the workings of fate. It was inevitable. I was no more than a Cinderella with the pumpkin carriage and glass slippers. Slippers all prepared beforehand.
I get it. So, this was a farce that Kinzo and Genji set up.
Kinzo did understand, and Genji realized that this was a message. I don't have a clue what you mean. What did Grandfather understand? What does Genji-san have to do with this epitaph?
The epitaph wasn't solved. Someone was made to solve it.
And then, Beatrice truly revived. If that revival had never happened...
Then 1986 would still have come, but the incident might have been completely different.
And so, since the time of my birth, I have been trapped by the crossroads of fate. Never given the right to make any decisions of my own will. Oh, I am one yet many, and yet we have never been able to resist fate. We are little more than leaves caught in a whirlpool. No matter how we dance, we must eventually be sucked in and disappear.
Ah, okay. I see. That makes sense.
Yeah?
Gop's the one who specializes in instant movement. She's the 33rd in rank of great demons. You must really be incredible to have a friend like that, Beato. Ooh!
I see, the great demon Gop. Very well, my friend. You will now be Gop. You may call yourself by that name. Oh, wonderful. So you've finally given me a name.
It's been 4 years. It's
It's a relief after being named so long.
nameless. Oh, he's just here now? He's
In that case, I would be honored to receive a name as well. Being nothing more than a head furniture lacks flavor, does it not? Maria, I need a name for this guy, too. He is also a great demon and serves as my butler. He is a subordinate whom I can trust.
Ranove, I guess? The 27th ranked of the great demons. It's said he'll give you reliable underlings.
My, what a coincidence. The family name of my double, Genji, is Runaway.
almost like it was written that way.
Oh, that truly is a coincidence. I see. It seems this is the best possible name for you. Very well. You shall now be known as Runaway.
Oh, how pleasant it is to be called by one's name. I thank you for this wonderful name, Lady Maria.
Just as form can be a vessel, a name can be a powerful vessel too. For unknown creatures of the other world, simply gaining a name can greatly increase their magical power. That's why names are important. Ooh!
Names are important and wonderful. Right, Leah? You can call me Gop now, okay?
Gop. A splendid name. I will remember it. And I'll ask you to stop shortening my precious name.
Curious. Wasn't Virgilia just a name she picked so that she wouldn't have to be Beatrice anymore? With Battler, but she has it here?
Hmm.
Indeed.
I don't know. You'd have to go deep on that one. Oh, there we go. So you're Virgilia, the one who guides travelers to Beatrice? That is also a splendid name. Perfect from a lady's teacher.
Yes, I do like it a lot. A name is a life.
Maria, thanks to you, my friends have found names. I am deeply grateful.
Ooh! Now it's your turn, Beato! Draw pictures of my bunny friends! Like you did for Sakutaro!
I see where this is going.
Yeah?
Very well. Lend me that grimoire.
Hi, Sakutaro.
Who are you? Beato's drawings are really great. I can't wait to see.
What'll it be like? What'll it be like? I can't wait to see the bunnies! Ooh, ooh, ooh.
They were in a forest band, were they not? A band. Yes, something like...
All of a sudden, Maria was no longer a little girl who did nothing but follow her mother around, laughing or crying. Though she is still young, she already has a powerful self-image, and possesses enough knowledge of the magical world to surprise you. Oh, that's Beatrice. Damn it.
Whoops.
Though she is still young, she already has a powerful self-image, and possesses enough knowledge of the magical world to surprise even me.
Umineko, you really got it. You gotta specify who's narrating when.
Mhm.
You gotta...
Together, we called ourselves Mariage Sorcière and made each other's magical worlds deeper and richer. So, a name can become a powerful vessel. How profound.
It's very important to have a form for a vessel, but a name is just as important.
Indeed, those with names leave a greater impression than those without.
It's not just about forms and names. By knowing more and more about them, you can make them exist much more strongly. So I'll think of lots of stuff for you.
Did you do this for Sakutaro as well?
Yup. Sakutaro isn't just a name. There's a lot more to him than that.
He is a lion cub, correct?
Sakutaro's a
Is that Vegeta or Oh, yeah, okay, because that's supposed to be vegetarian.
Vegeta lion, so he doesn't eat meat. But everyone else thinks he does, and they're scared of him. But Sakutaro's also a scaredy cat, so he's just as scared as the others. Sakutaro's such a coward.
Or you? You don't eat meat. I'm not a scary lion.
Oh, look! A flesh-eating sparrow! Hup, hup, hup.
Oh. Sparrows are scary. Sparrows don't eat meat.
Sakutaro's a coward, so he thinks they do.
Did the sparrow go away? Who you?
Dang.
You're such a scaredy cat, Sakutaro. If you keep this up,
Oh.
Yeah.
Sakusuke and Sakukichi will start making fun of you again, right?
Who you? I'm not a scaredy cat.
Ah, the sparrow's back. Thup, 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 thup.
No, I'll be eaten. Whoosh.
True.
Sakutaro is quite entertaining. Then are Saksuke and Sakukichi his siblings?
Yep, they're his little brothers waiting for him at home. Sakusuke and Sasuke is a lot more reliable than Sakutaro, and Sakakichi is so skillful he can do anything. But they're all really good friends. They all play together on my bed.
Your bed must be covered with lions.
Yep. So I call my bed Lionland.
Sorry, Leon Land.
But there's lots of other animals too. Woo!
Lionland, is it? It sounds like fun.
By interacting together, all of Maria's friends can reinforce their own existence. It's a magnificent world.
I guess that means we should work on deepening our relationships as well. By strengthening our bonds, our existence and magical power will grow stronger and stronger.
Let's expand our world more and more. From what I've heard, Maria's world has far more than just Sakutaro and the bunnies. We can't let her beat us.
My. In that case, shall we find more minions for ourselves?
It's no fun with just the gold butterflies. After all, they cannot speak.
Could you imagine if they could? Good lord.
Oh gosh.
Good.
I'd like some chatty minions who can talk, jump around, and fight with each other.
Yep.
True. Of course, it'll be better to spice things up around here.
Here in Mariage Sorcière, we have learned how to expand our worlds and create new minions. By now, you may create new minions as often as your imagination allows.
Milady, what about those? Could you make vessels of those dark tools you found when cleaning out Goldsmith's storage room?
Oh, perfect. Minions created from dark-looking vessels like that will surely be fitting for me.
So Kenzo just had the stakes lying around?
Yep.
That's crazy. That's...
There will be more and more of us, and it will get very lively here.
Ooh! We'll get more and more new friends! That's my magic! And Beato can take my friends and give them a form! You can make them grow!
You create them, and I grow them. Indeed. That's Mariage Sorcière for you. Still, bunny ears are pretty hard. It might take some time before the bunnies manifest themselves.
Be sure you make them cute.
But of course. This is where I get to show my skill.
Create a creature.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't know. Hey, there's no specification of who's talking right now. There's no.
True. Also, are you beginning to see why, like, all the creatures wear, like, the same outfit?
Yep.
Create a creature. Give it a name. Give it a form. Doing that is no different from giving birth to new life. When a human gives birth to a child, they give it a form, give it a name to identify it by, and deepen its character by raising it in the world. Mariage Sorcière is doing exactly the same thing. In our world, we can create whatever creatures we think of, give them forms, give them names, and make them friends we can interact with. We were engrossed with our game in this world called Mariage Sorcière. At least, Maria was engrossed. She would badger me to play this game every time she came. And of course, I was too. However, when Maria started happily writing something and I just sat there for a while, I must admit that I sighed and looked up at the sky, making sure she didn't notice. It's fun to increase the number of our minions. They make things lively, so I do not tire of it. I may have tired of my minions alone, but even that problem goes away when I can interact with Maria's as well. It takes two people to create a universe. I now have that second person, so I am satisfied. Think. I am satisfied. And yet, one little part of me is not. It truly is a tiny part. After all, it's so much fun playing with Maria that time seems to fly on by. But even so, when I look up at the sky, during those short moments, I feel an empty feeling I can't describe. I know. My universe is not complete. My apologies to Maria, but she is not the second person I want to create a universe with. No matter how much I nurture my world with her, the roots of love in my heart leave gaps. "4 years have already passed since that day. He left saying he'd come for me riding a white horse, and I was the only one without a letter. And he even said that he probably wouldn't be returning to Rokkenjima.
I forgot I had a conspiracy theory that I was going to bring up at the beginning of this episode, and I didn't.
Yeah?
I'll save
You
it
want
for...
to now?
Well, I'll save it for after this chapter's over.
Okay.
Because it'll give us a moment to stop.
Yeah. Is this love? I always believed that love was so much sweeter, so much more intoxicating. But now, I don't know anymore. Though I long for him so much it's maddening, I can sometimes feel hatred underneath. However, even that hatred is wrapped in adoration. The roots of love have remained in the corners of my heart all this time. At some point, I gave up hoping that Battler would return. However, the roots of love stayed right where they were. In other words, even 4 years later, I still believe. He will come back someday. The flower of my love has curled up and withered as though against the winter cold. However, the root is still alive. And it is always, always waiting for him to return. Waiting for a chance to bloom beautifully again. I'm grateful to Maria. Maria Sorcier has eased the burden on my heart so much. If we hadn't met like this, I may have withered away along with that root. Even this incomplete universe is necessary for me to remain alive now. I must live on, until I can create my complete universe. Until that day, I will not be complete. Though I have a form and a name, no matter how deep my world grows, I will not be complete.
Why didn't you change Beatrice? No, I'm kidding.
Show me who it is.
No.
Just, yeah.
I am not complete.
Beato?
I accidentally muttered what I had been thinking. Maria stopped talking to Sakutaro. I regretted that my slip of the tongue had ruined this fun time. There was a long silence before I could smooth it over. I laughed, but it probably sounded hollow. Maria, not knowing why my face had suddenly changed like this, looked taken aback. All my minions will each deepen this world and their own existences, becoming full. I alone will never be complete. I know why I will not be complete.
It's because you don't have enough magical power.
Maria answered instantly. Oh, wait, no.
Maria answered instantly. Beatrice had lost her magical power and is unable to regain the strength she once had. That's how the story goes. So Maria's answer was correct. And now it's you again.
That's right. I may be incomplete because I have lost my magical power. In that case, if my power becomes complete, and I revive in the truest sense, will my world become complete as well? Does that mean that the person I want to nourish a universe with will come back?
We've looped all the way back around to doubling down.
Yeah, Delulu.
We've gone from Delulu to... Nah, it's... wait, no, it's literally... It's so over. We're so back.
Yep.
Beatrice is just ping-ponging.
Yep. So real. If, as I claim, I really was able to control miracles at will in the past with my magic.
Sorry, I just fat-fingered something, so I just want to make sure everything's okay.
Ah!
Okay, I believe we are. Just want to make sure I didn't accidentally hit a hotkey.
Yep. Then if I succeed in reviving, would that miracle definitely occur? If such a thing were possible, I'd want true magical power to use for my resurrection. That's right. It's because I do not possess enough magical power.
Poor Beato. It must be pretty inconvenient with your magical power so weak.
I want to get it back. Quickly. My old power.
I guess you'll have to do that, then.
What do you mean by that?
Kissing.
True.
You gotta kiss a boy.
The ceremony of resurrection. The ceremony of the portrait's epitaph.
Yep. I'm going to assume this is still Beatrice, even though it doesn't say it. Yeah, okay. If you read that epitaph literally, it does sound like a witch's resurrection ceremony. To Maria, who believes in witches, that epitaph must be a ceremony in itself. Unlike the other family members, it seems that she is not very interested in the location of the hidden gold. If that epitaph's riddle is solved, one might learn the location where Kinzo hid all the gold I once gave him.
That's the gold you created with magic, right?
Indeed, a crystallization of the great magic I possessed in those days.
In that case, if you get that gold back, your magical power will go back to normal.
Perhaps.
It will, huh? It's gotta be your resurrection ceremony. I'll help, so let's solve it together. And then you'll revive, and when you do, you'll take me to your golden land.
That's right. I did promise that I would take you to the Golden Land.
You said that all wishes are granted there. There's no black witch there, just a nice mama. And I might even meet the papa I've never seen before. Of course, there won't be any school, or homework, or bullying friends, and we can live happily ever after. Hey, Sakutaro, doesn't that sound fun? Who do you?
The epitaph of the portrait. So, must I face the epitaph's riddle after all? If Kinzo's children struggle uselessly over it, how could a complete stranger like me solve it?
Perhaps that's the perspective you need.
If I did happen to solve it, that would surely be a miracle. Will doing that bring about another miracle and return my miraculous power to me?
Beatrice, practice your lines before you come to set.
True. I just remembered that there's stage plays of this. I can't fathom memorizing those lines. Can you?
It would be an experience. Imagine being Battler. Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's one thing in like shows when you memorize your lines and they're simple, straightforward. Like somebody says, "What happened to this girl?" and then you say she was stabbed. That's something. But when you're like, you walk up to Battler and say, "Have you ever heard of the wolves and sheep puzzle?" Like, you have
Yeah.
to memorize that. Like, you.
There's wolves and sheep on each side of the river, and there's a boat in the middle, and you have to.
Oh my gosh, I really do want
It's
to
like
watch that.
it's like a bro tube. It's got little goblins inside of it. It's
Yeah, exactly. That's
maybe
what I'm
that helps
saying,
you remember
'cause
it better though, because you're like, man, this is crazy, man.
maybe.
These
I'm
are
pretty
some
sure
crazy lines.
the last adaptation did episode 3 in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's also crazy that they're doing that. They're doing the entire thing.
I know. Entire stage play of Umineko before a good anime adaptation.
Before GTA 6. Before.
True. Anyway, I'll take this, I suppose. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the Golden Land, follow its path downstream in search of the key.
Yeah. We've heard it a million times.
So, am I to travel down a river in Kinzo's homeland in search of a key? As you travel down the river, you will see a village. In that village, look for the shore the two will tell you of. There sleeps the key to the Golden Land. There may be villages if you go down a river, but what is the shore the two will tell you of? The one who obtains the key must then travel to the Golden Land in accordance with these rules. So those who do not have the key need not read the rest? I do not understand it, but that's how this riddle is. It's practically unsolvable, so solving it would be a miracle. That much makes sense. I felt a stabbing pain in my body. The anti-magic toxin had burned my skin. Some human is probably approaching. I erased my form.
Who is it?
Let's see. Multiple sets of footsteps approached. It was Genji, Shannon, and Canon too.
It seems everyone is engrossed with solving the epitaph's riddle.
Yes, I hear that even some of the servants have copied it down and taken it home with them. If you solve this riddle, will you really find 10 tons of gold?
Indeed. That's a new Genji face. I don't know if we've seen that.
I don't know.
There can be no doubt of that.
I don't understand. The puzzle may be a tough one, but why is the master showing the location of his precious gold in a place where everyone can see?
That is the master's magic. And also a bet. The master believes that the one who solves this difficult riddle will contain Beatrice Summer's soul within them.
It's a strange bet. Magic. Looks like he's taken his occult fanaticism as far as it could possibly go. Shouldn't say that.
All are allowed to try and solve the epitaph's riddle. Of course, the servants are no exceptions. Will you try to solve it?
Could never solve such a hard riddle. And anyway...
And
if I had 10 tons of gold, I can't think of anything in particular I'd want to use it for. I'd be more than happy if these peaceful days continued forever. Looks like you and George-sama have been pretty close these days. I just hope being distracted doesn't make you even more of a klutz. Happen.
does this mean you...
I'll take it.
Sorry.
Oh.
I jumped the gun.
With a backward glance at this conversation, Genji walked up to the portrait, looked up at the witch. When they saw what Genji was doing, Shannon and Kanon immediately went silent. Genji, who was the head of the servants, the closest in age to Kinzo, and the one whom Kinzo called a friend, probably understood Kinzo's heart better than anyone else. What did he think when he looked at this portrait? Neither Shannon nor Kanon. Well, that's probably you at that point.
Yeah.
It's omniscient.
Neither Shannon nor Canon could tell. Behold the Sweetfish River, running through my beloved hometown. Suddenly, Genji started reciting the epitaph. Shannon quickly nodded to show that she was listening, but it wasn't clear whether he was talking to her at all. Genji, his back still to them, continued. The master would not describe Odawara as his beloved hometown.
I've heard that he lived far away. We don't.
I got.
Huh. Though we don't know where it was.
There we go. Oh. Taiwan.
Mhm.
Genji turned around and spoke that single word. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. Wait, I have a Google Doc somewhere. Wait.
You got a Google Doc?
Because when I did the epitaph thing and I had all the letters that weren't the decipher, like the cipher,
Mm-hmm.
it because there was something I don't remember why, but there was something in the epitaph riddle that I was like, these are still important and I need to use them for something, right? And I thought they were supposed to be like a location, but I kept putting in the word and I couldn't find it anywhere in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? What was that word? What was that word? It started with an O, I thought. Did it? Wait, okay, I have to. Sorry. I have to.
Okay.
I have to. Wait. Quailin? Quailin, Taiwan. Quilian Metro Station is located in the Beitao district of Taipei. It is a station on the Tamsui line. In the past, the station belonged to the now defunct TRA Tamsui line.
How's it spelled?
Well, the one I have is Quailin because that's the order it was in once I removed it from Dr. Liu, which becomes Lord Yu. But this one is spelled Quilian, but it was the first thing that came up in Google when I searched that Taiwan.
Do you know what that is? What that word means?
I do not. Wait.
If it were...
No, go ahead.
You gonna look it up?
You can go ahead. You can go because you're gonna tell me the same thing that Google would. So you're.
If it were Japanese, it would be Kirian.
Kirian?
Mm-hmm. K-I-R-I-A-N. That probably doesn't matter, but yeah.
Okay. So formerly transliterated as Kirian Station until 2003, it says as well. Okay. The station was opened as Kirigan Station, Japanese, on 17th of August 1915 under the Tasumi Railroad line and was renamed Shipai after the war. The old railway entrance was at Okay, so it was Japanese, because the Japanese did own Taiwan for a time, and I did know that, but I didn't think to include that. Okay, so then, what does that mean? What is that?
I don't know. I do think it's very odd, though, that the one person I know who's from Taiwan texted me during this conversation.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's...
Wait. Okay, wait, let me think of the whole epitaph now.
Take your time, but I will say it's gonna give you more if you keep going.
But do I want to get more right now, or do I want to see if I can figure out anything else?
I don't know.
Okay, well, there was a lot of talk of rivers not being a real river, so is river a railway line in this sense because it's a railway station?
Maybe.
Okay, wait, because we don't have the epitaph in this right now. Do we? It might have. Wait, has it put it in here?
I don't believe we do. I think we
No,
only have
okay.
SSVD.
Wait, let me... Umineko epitaph. The Witch's Epitaph, 7th expansion. Lone Sweepish River running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the Golden Land, follow its path downstream in search of a key. Oh, I'm gonna have to look up. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up an actual map of Taiwan if I want to figure out all of this right now, and I don't want to go that far because that'll just take so much time. But as you travel down it, you will see a village. In that village, look for the shore the two will tell you of. There sleeps the key to the Golden Land. And the key is supposedly the Lord Yu for Lord Ushiromiya, right?
The key is the letters you take out of the word.
The letters you take out of the word. So DRLOU or what I just did. Those are the ones you keep. Okay, so the Keelan one then that I got for this. That's the key?
Yeah. Which at this point you're working backwards because you use the key to find the town.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this just leads you to the getting the Lord Yu then. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so I've done that. Okay. So now all I need to know is just where you're supposed to put the cipher in. That's the part that I had already talked about. So, okay, there we go.
Which does seem to back up your quadrillion theory, huh?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, honestly, we've gone so long that I kind of forgot about the quadrillion part of it. I had forgotten that was the source of all of this was quadrillion. Genji turned around and spoke that single word. Not quadrillion, Taiwan.
Yeah. Oh, is that so? I see. So that explains what Kraus-sama always used to say. Remember him talking about how the master liked areca nuts?
Did he ever do that when we watched him?
I honestly have no recollection. I believe maybe because I feel like I remember looking up those nuts.
That would be crazy. Did he do it? Wait, did he do it in the flashback with Natsuhi? I think he did. I
can't remember. Maybe.
Because remember that's when Kraus and Natsuhi were out on vacation and he was like, you gotta try things when you're out in the world. Father likes this nut that's from... I think he did. That's crazy. That such a little thing was such a big hint.
Yeah.
I didn't even think anything of that. Yes!
Think of it. Yeah. Kraus-sama said those were a luxury item, like tobacco, that was popular in Taiwan.
Because they were out in that market and Kraus was sucking on them and Natsuhi was like, stop, that's weird.
Yeah. So that's why the master...
In the half-century before the war, Taiwan was under the rule of Japan. Many Japanese had moved there, seeking a new frontier. Kinzo's family was a branch family of the Ushiromias. Apparently, they were only distantly related to the head family, so they were able to form a new life and a new future, without being constrained by the head family in Odawara. Shannon and Canon nodded their understanding, but they didn't know why Genji had suddenly broached this subject. He's trying to get your gears turning.
Yeah, why? Why is Genji trying to get these two to think about this? Oh, alright.
So, there was a river with sweet fish in it in the master's hometown in Taiwan. The key is there?
Are both Shannon and Canon Kinzo kids?
Don't be so stupid. There has to be several rivers with sweet fish in the area.
They both wear the one-winged eagle.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to be. They've got to both be Kinzo kids. Because there's no way Genji would be... Because Genji knows about Kinzo. But, okay, but then who is Canon? Who did Kinzo have a kid with? That's Canon. Because Shannon, it could be implied that she is the man, supposedly, from 19 years ago. Which would also make sense as to how she's the same age as Battler, because that's the same age as Battler. But also then this Shannon supposedly isn't the same age as that Battler, unless, oh wait, no, because they talked about Genji hiding the age, so the age was different. So she is 19, but she thinks she's not 19 because Genji flipped the age around so that Kinzo wouldn't do the thing he did to Kuwadori and Beatrice with her. But where does Canon come in?
That's the question, isn't it?
Because, okay, I'm definitely convinced because he wears the one-winged eagle that he is a Kinzo kid. Or at least he's an Ushiromiya. But to that extent. Which also makes the whole relationship thing with Jessica and George and Battler really weird. But...
I don't know.
Because the only reason Genji would be doing this for these two is because they're both Ushiromiyas and he is like, you should have the right to inherit this just as any of them should, and you should have the means to try. So he's trying to get them to like actually try because he knows that they think as servants, they're going to be like, oh, well, I shouldn't even try because it doesn't really matter. But he knows they're Ushiromiyas, so he's like, they should. They should though. Oh, Okay, I'll keep going. Sorry, I'm not.
Okay.
Don't for sure, right? I don't know where the master lived in Taiwan, but there might have been only one river there. If so, that must be the place.
I'm just afraid that while I'm theorizing, if I don't say all of it at once, they're gonna say something immediately after that either proves or disproves what I've said, and then
That's fair. That's
and then I
valid.
won't be able to like get it all out before something changes.
Mm-hmm. You're too optimistic. There's no way the riddle could be solved that easily.
The master says his magical ceremony will gain more power if more people try to solve the riddle, because one of them is supposed to be Beatrice. You must try as well. Everyone has been given the same chance.
Yes.
As if we had a chance. This is pointless.
Genji spun around. If I remember correctly, didn't they say that Shannon is 16? Too?
I think so.
Which would line up if Genji took like 3 years. Okay, did they say 3 years, or am I just making that up? Is that something I made up in my head? The Genji changing that
It was 2
around?
or 3 years.
Was it
but
2?
Yes.
Okay, it was 2 or 3 years. So that would fall in line with that because 16 to 19 is 3 years, obviously, if you can do basic math.
Mm.
So
I'd have to double check, but I think that's right.
I know you're talking about the information, but it's really funny thinking you were meaning 16 plus 3 is 19.
I'd have to double check. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but I'll double check real quick.
Genji spun around. Shannon and Cannon hurried to follow after him.
Yeah, 16.
When his footsteps receded and silence returned, a gold butterfly flitted out from among the shadows. Who is
I
Cannon?
searched so hard to find that picture. I searched really hard to find that picture, and I could not find it for the life of me.
Dang.
I was trying to make it a
Cannon-
thumbnail.
I don't like the Canon isn't real theory because I feel like that is so hard to prove. Because he's interacted with so many people, I don't think it's true. But then who is he? Because supposedly Kuwadorian Beatrice is dead. And Shannon should be the man from 19 years ago, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So then who is Canon?
I don't know. I don't know, man. You still gotta figure out who Shannon is.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Taiwan, is it? Oh, so he lived quite far away.
I'll do it.
I think
See
this
where he
is
did
her
it.
reading it again.
Yeah.
Behold, the Sweetfish River running through my beloved hometown. In other words, a Sweetfish River running through Taiwan. There are many rivers in Taiwan. Cannon was right. How ridiculous.
I feel like that sentence would apply to literally anywhere on the planet except for maybe a desert.
Yeah.
There are many rivers in X. There are...
But are they all Sweetfish River? No kidding.
However, the word Taiwan interests me. That taciturn Genji muttered it without anyone asking. So is it even possible that it means nothing?
You know, I'm surprised, honestly, that he didn't go with the Japanese name for Taiwan, which is Formosa. I'm surprised
yeah.
he didn't do that, but...
I do know that the epitaph technically has like 2 different solutions.
Oh.
Because it was never intended to be solved in English.
Oh, that's funny.
It was a Japanese word riddle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they come out the same, but I mean obviously they do.
That's funny.
But I believe the way to get the solutions was different English to Japanese, which big kudos to the translators because that's
that it
crazy.
worked. Yeah, that it...
Yeah. Anyway.
Clearly, Genji's saying it has something to do with the epitaph's riddle. It's almost as though that was a hint for solving it. Though I do find it stupid. Very well, Genji. Why don't I play along with your farce for a while? Taiwan. I've traveled the world at times during these past 1,000 years, but I know nothing of the place. To counter my ignorance, I shall need a crystallization of knowledge.
Also known as a book.
Mm-hmm.
The Akasha Terminal. No. That which is smoothed out and pressed into many sheets. What is called a book.
Dang. I wasn't being literal. I was just poking fun. You don't have to...
Where might I find a book about Taiwan? Kenzo's study is the first place that comes to mind if one is looking for books. But that won't work. The charm on that room prevents me from entering. So, the library, is it?
Oh, one second.
Kenzo's vast collection. Oh! I'm waiting. Oh.
Okay, we're back. Sorry,
All
my
good?
mother had to come speak to me, everyone.
Been there, done that.
Kinzo's vast collection of books grows each year. The books that don't fit in his study are stored in a book storage room that we usually call the library. Of course, there are countless books just in this place. The library has everything from valuable books to apparently worthless books, all packed together like an antique shop. There was a golden glint in the keyhole of the library's door, and a gold butterfly flitted out.
It's just the name of the island. It's just the name of the island, Enclid. It's just the... We're not making any statements about anything. It's just the name of the island. It's just...
Stinky as ever, I see.
What?
A great Beatrice line.
Someone screenshot? Someone's...
Dust, mold. I see. So this is the stench of knowledge.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love when Beatrice is chuny for, like, no reason. Like...
Yeah. Well now, how can I find a book on Taiwan amongst all this? The prospect is almost dizzying. However, I realized right away. If I wanted to quickly find out about Taiwanese rivers, didn't want a book on Taiwan. An atlas. There must be one of those somewhere around here. Search, my butterfly minions. Find the book I seek in this dusty, noble graveyard of knowledge.
Yes, sir. No.
True.
They can talk now. They can...
A cloud of countless gold butterflies appeared at my feet. They're doing it. They swayed, blew like the wind, and coiled themselves around the library. Eventually, the cloud of butterflies selected a single book. It seems that this is the one.
Oh, dang. They gave us the
Oh,
whole,
there it
actual
is.
whole... Yeah,
Huh.
whole picture and everything.
Well done,
That might be a good thumbnail.
Taiwan.
Mhm.
A World Atlas to Asia volume. Perfect. It was a grand, thick, illustrated encyclopedia of maps, several volumes long.
You could just do a PNG of Taiwan as...
Oh gosh. There was even a thick section on Taiwan. This should be plenty useful. Taiwan. 394 kilometers north to south, 144 kilometers east to west. An area of roughly 36,000 square kilometers. Ho, that's pretty large. By area, that's about the same size as Kyushu in Japan.
This led Beato to a very natural question.
Where on this massive island did Kinzo live? Kenji mentioned Taiwan, but that's all. How careless I've been.
Use the epitaph, Beatrice. Use... Beato had vaguely assumed that the riddle would be solved in a flash if she could just look at a map of Taiwan. Also, I don't know why, but it's just very funny to me that it just says Taiwan in English. However, Taiwan is no small place. Also, it does have railroad, expressway, and road. Actually, it looks like most of that's in English. Wait. It would make sense because it's Kenzo, but... Municipalities and several... something.
Yeah, that bottom left definitely looks like it's all in English.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was just curious. I was just trying to read a little bit.
The right page looks like it might have English and the actual
Japanese.
symbols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just which part of this large island did Kenzo call his beloved hometown?
I kept looking through books in this dusty library, sometimes having to cough. And I was not happy with being stuck in a place like this. You could take the book out. So, the largest city is Taipei. It says here that Japanese people used to live in a spot called Taisho.
You can't take the book out of the room. That makes it not knowledge anymore, Pertusit. That
True, becomes a closed room
Yeah.
book reading? I don't know.
close.
Was that where Kinzo lived? No, it's too early to be sure of that without proof. I'll skip to the next part before I settle on anything more specific than just Taiwan itself. A sweet fish river running through the hometown. What's this? There are 129 rivers in Taiwan? God, 129 rivers! And how many of those have sweet fish swimming in them?
Get out your encyclopedia to figure out.
Mm-hmm. Just thinking about it is dizzying.
The hit VTuber from Face Connect?
Mm-hmm. This was quickly becoming ridiculous. Genji must have been muttering nonsense to himself after all. I only thought he was giving out a hint about the epitaph. So, the reward for the fool blinded by gold is dust. Nice one, Genji. I tossed the book aside, used magic to turn a bookshelf into a sofa, and plopped down on top of it. For a while, I grumbled about getting tricked and looked up at the ceiling. I was annoyed, so I felt like gathering all this room's dust, packing it into a ball, and tossing it into Genji's teacup. So I glanced down at the floor. The book I had thrown away lay open on the ground. A gold butterfly was resting on that open page. Tossing a book at random and reading an oracle from the page it happens to open to is a kind of ritual. I see. So that page might have some sort of hint. Not entirely convinced, I picked the book up. The open page was probably very near the one I had been reading. Apparently, it was a page explaining Taiwan's geography. Oddly enough, it was a page about the rivers and lakes. I already know that there are 129 rivers. Is there something else you're trying to tell me? There were 6 major rivers listed. Jiushui River, Kaoping River, Danshui River, Daijia River, Zhengyun River, Dadu River. Oh. Now then, which of these rivers might have sweet fish in them? An idea came to me then. Sweet fish are freshwater fish, and you don't find ocean water in rivers. Unless it's extremely dirty or blocked by a dam, any river might have sweet fish in it. How foolish! All rivers have fresh water in them. What's stopping sweet fish from living in any river? Come to think of it, what a foolish name this Danshui River has. Freshwater River? What sort of river isn't a freshwater river?
Dang.
It would only make sense to name a river after what's in it if it were literally anything else.
Dang.
Funny. Danshui River flows from Taipei to the harbor town of Danshui. I see. It isn't called that because of the water in it, but because of the town and its mouth.
The town named Freshwater?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that would actually make sense, perhaps, because, like, if explorers came to Taiwan and then they found the river and they founded a town there, they'd be like, this is fresh water, because it's where the fresh water starts.
True. I think there are sillier names out there, like Portsmouth.
Yeah? Yeah, those British with their city named Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm. Now, Plymouth, that one makes sense to me, because I don't know many other plies that have mouths, but anyway. As you travel down the river, you will see a village. In that village, look for the shore the two will tell you of.
Or rocks.
Yeah.
Plymouth Rock.
Oh, true.
What?
I'm trying to think of other silly names, because I also know there's a bunch of names that are just straight up rip-offs, like, you'll have places named London that are not in Britain.
I mean, anywhere named New something, I think, is just a cheap knockoff, but...
True. I'm trying to think of other very redundant named cities. I can't think of many others, though, right now, off the top of my head. Oh well, I'll think of them. They'll come to me. New York City? Come on now. I realize that this is stupid. And yet there's something about this town. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. That line should be talking about one of the 129 rivers. The fish are freshwater fish. And here's this freshwater river flowing down to a town called Freshwater. It's like a strange, trivial word game. Or could it be some kind of code? I've been looking for books here so long that the dust is piling up on me. If I give up now, it will all have been a waste of time. Very well. Why don't I test my luck and see if the random page the book opened to contains an oracle? I turn to the next page, trying to search in even greater detail.
Oh, we're back.
To me, solving this riddle was like a game, one that all of the servants were engrossed in. I was just trying to be one of that group. For quite some time, I had suffered from a lack of books I could find particularly absorbing, and I was very bored. So I took that book back with me to my own room, and looked through it every night. There's a hint for the epitaph's riddle in an atlas?
In the third game, Ava solved the riddle after reading a book in the book archive. Then in the fifth game, Furudo Erika looked for an atlas in that room before solving the riddle herself.
Then there really is some secret in a map of Taiwan. I believed that the Sweetfish River part was a code for Danshui River. Every day I researched the surrounding geography in detail. Of course, I also looked up several small streams that might have sweetfish in them. However, that didn't get me anywhere.
According to some information from a previous game, we aren't looking for an actual river, but it is something that flows. That's how Ava interpreted it.
So, it isn't a river? Correct. In the end, Danshui River had nothing to do with it. However, now that I think about it, it must have been an oracle after all. The river itself was unrelated, but it was still a great hint. The river was unrelated, but it was still a hint?
Calm down and think. Think of something that flows but isn't a river.
Like a train.
My microphone fell over. Okay.
Dang! I was about to be like, hey, dang, he's taking a while to read this line.
So, something other than water that flows?
What can you think of? Try and think outside the box.
Well, I'm tired of all this puzzle solving. Stop being annoying and give us the answer. You solved the epitaph, right?
Probably.
Something other than water that flows. Something...
POV, you and me.
Methods of transportation? Like a road or a highway?
POV, you are Duke Onkled watching for Tucid and I.
Correct. It took me so long to realize that the Sweetfish River did not refer to water itself.
That's right. There's something other than a river with the name Danshui. Something that both people and things flow up and down.
Up and down?
A hot air balloon. No, I'm kidding.
True. Do you mean...
That's it. Railroads. Not the little thunder, yeah.
Where there's rain?
There's thunder! The Danshui Line. It's a railway that goes from Taipei to Danshui Harbor. Oh, train. It was constructed in 1901 while Taiwan was under Japanese rule. Afterwards, the number of stations continued to grow, and it became a major artery into Taipei. This railroad was used after the war as well and is still in common use as the Danshui line of the Taipei Rapid Transit System, not Railroad Transit System. Its route begins at Taipei Station and continues on until the town of Danshui.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess that second one is. Oh wait, no. Okay, I was about to say because it had two names, so I was gonna say I'm gonna guess that second one's the one that I was talking about earlier, but nope. There's another one that's formerly. What did the epitaph say you'd see if you went down the river?
A village.
There's only one station on the Danshui line with the character for village in its name. And it's this, wait, I got it, wait,
Yeah.
let me look it up one more time, wait.
Yeah.
What's the dang Japanese pronunciation again?
Oh, the one that you get?
Wait, I got it, wait, don't give me the answer.
Okay.
Not Qingling, that's the Antarctic base.
Whoops.
One second. I've almost got it, wait.
I'm letting him go.
Kirigan. Kirigan Station. Are those the same Japanese characters? Wait, let me look.
I have no idea.
No, they're not.
That might also be in or I guess it would be Taiwanese or
Yep.
Chinese characters.
Chirian or Kirian. I'm gonna say it as that. Kirian Station. Formerly, whatever that is, station.
Yeah.
Kirigan Station.
How do you read this?
There we go. I was right. The Japanese pronounce it as Kirigan. Its name was changed to Sekihai Station after the war, but when Kenzo lived there, it was Kirigan Station.
As you travel down the river, you will see a village. If I had to guess, that should be Mura, but I'm not positive, so I'm not going to say it. In that village, look for the shore the two will tell you of.
Well, isn't the only one. You can also see up the character for sure.
Dang! In the end, it took me quite a long time to work out that this station was the one referred to. It has the character for village and the character for shore.
Shore Village.
It felt like a kid's riddle, playing with letters. The first character in Kirigan has the character for mouth.
That's their character for mouth.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I
Because it's a mouth.
yeah.
And the other half of that first character, which means the word that, right?
That mouth?
That village is shore, and the mouth is telling of it.
Oh.
But I don't get what the two means.
The three characters of Kirigan can be split into a mouth, boom, a that, boom, a village, boom, and a shore, boom. Me when the three characters can be split into four characters.
True.
Japanese is hard, man. Those are all words that appear in the epitaph. In that village, look for the shore the two will tell you of. You can read it as a code for the name of the station. Okay, so I understand now what you mean by this is like the Japanese word game part of it. Because you would never be able to figure it out this way in English.
Nope.
I'm assuming this is still Leon with that last line?
Probably.
However, I don't understand the part about the two. I was also stuck on that part. However, by then, I was very confident that this station was what the epitaph referred to. If the station was once known by a different name, then could some local spot also have had its name changed?
That's right. Kirigan Station was named after a nearby location, after all. And though the name of that area was also Kirigan, it's written differently.
There are two mouths.
There are?
Yep. I guess it didn't take much investigation before it was clear. The epitaph must have been referring to this place called Kirigan.
Then, is this where the key to the Golden Land rests?
That would be the obvious answer. However, I couldn't make the long trip to Taiwan to check. And, of course, the place known as Kirigan is quite large itself. If a tiny key was hidden somewhere there, I'd never find it. I was at a loss.
But you didn't give up.
I was certain that I had found the answer, at least to the first 5 lines of the epitaph. In my eyes, it truly was an entertaining game. No, a mystery. I almost gave up then. However, there was no doubt that I had the key in my hand. So I decided to travel to the Golden Land in accordance with the epitaph.
On the first twilight, what were the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices?
We can tell by this line that the key refers to 6 things. Reasoning makes it possible to see that this couldn't refer to a physical key.
6 things?
Yes, 6 things. I was merely a thick-headed human. I decided to look through books for anything related to the number 6. 6. 666. The location of the key called Kirigan was hidden by a word game. That meant the 6 things were surely connected to some sort of word game too. 6. 666. I kept searching for 6.
Is there some way to split up the characters in Kirigan to get 6?
A good idea. Still, no matter how much you stare at those 3 characters, you won't get an answer. The problem here is that Kirigan is just the Japanese reading of the name.
Then how did they pronounce it there?
Ready?
Find room? Yep. There it is!
It's pronounced. No, this would be
It's
Mandarin.
Chinese, so it's probably a cha.
Yes, I think it would be Chirian.
Yeah.
So, it's pronounced Chirian. When written in Roman characters, that's 6 letters long.
6 letters. And it is a word game after all.
This is what it means by the 6 chosen by the key.
Can you imagine how difficult this would have been to solve, man?
Oh my
without
god.
this episode?
Jeez.
Because you have to, even if you are Japanese, like Dugauntlet's saying, you have to be able to also be familiar with Chinese.
Yeah.
And the
there are
history of
there are
Taiwan.
3 languages involved here because you also have to write Chirian in Roman letters.
English.
In order to
Yeah.
get it. So yeah, you have to be at least generally familiar with 3 languages.
It's crazy. All these things nowadays with these ARGs are like hexadecimal that, Morse code this. Nah, just translate it over 50 different languages. Anyway.
I get it.
I'm assuming this is still gonna be Leon.
Probably.
It just sounds like him.
Talking about it like this, it sounds like a line of reasoning that can be reached in a second. However, it took a long time.
Oh wait,
Maybe.
it'd be.
Well, I
this
mean,
would be Clair.
technically.
True. I'll do her voice for this one.
However, it took a long, long time before I reached this spot on my own. A dizzying number of nights passed from the time Genji uttered that single word to the time I got this far. So, what does it mean to offer these 6 letters as sacrifices?
On the second twilight, we start hearing about those who remain. Yeah, they went deep into this in episode 5, I think?
Yeah, when Erica
Yeah,
worked with
this is
Battler
when they
to solve
figured
it.
out a lot of the word game stuff with it.
Mhm.
With specifically this, because Erica was like, forget about the first part. Let's go to the sacrifices part and think about that.
Yep.
Reasoning opens up the possibility that the 6 letters of the key are being removed from an even larger set of letters. And that was what clued me in to actually figure out a little bit of it as well.
Mhm.
However, what could the 6 letters be removed from? That puzzle worried me for a long time. It's like the start of an entirely new riddle. This time, I would have to solve it all by myself, without any assistance. In the previous game, I'm pretty sure Aunt Rosa formed some sort of theory about the first Twilight.
Right. That theory about a 10-day journey ending at the 10th twilight. On the 10th twilight, at journey's end, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. She took that section to be a literal trip that ends when you attain to, or reach, the treasures of the Golden Land.
What meaning was there in those words? Realizing that there was something to be found, and then realizing what that something actually was, took another long stretch of time.
By Rosa's reasoning, attain to meant reaching some physical location represented by the 4 treasures. It was a good try, but not quite right. It's not the treasures we're supposed to reach, but their power.
What does it even mean to reach the power of something like that?
Don't overthink it. What else can the word power mean? Math.
You reach, or rather, raise yourself to the power of the 4 treasures, starting at Twilight number 10. And this is done once and for the last time. Oh, so it's an exponent, like a math problem.
Wait, I was actually right? I was joking. I was...
Here, I had a home field advantage since I lived on Rokkenjima. There was a hint there that made it easier to think of a certain large number. You might say that I actually found the answer before I knew what the question was.
If you keep making it so complicated, Leon's gonna get a headache. Let's get back to the point. Don't not include yourself in that, Mr. Wright. Literally, Burkestel 5 minutes ago was like, please just say the answer. 10 to the 4th power is 10,000. If you reach 10,000 on the 10th twilight, how far have you gotten by the 1st twilight?
Well, that's just 1/10 of 10,000. 1,000, right?
Right. But while that gives us a single word, it has nowhere near enough letters, and it doesn't match the key at all.
However, the end of the line says, you will attain to the power once and for the last time. If we interpret this as raising 10 to the 4th power once, and then doing the same thing one final time, we end up with 10 quadrillion.
There it is! That's 10 quadrillion at the 10th twilight, or quadrillion at the 1st twilight. As Battler guessed in the 5th game, it has 11 letters. Or should I say, as you guessed. See, now, this truly was a miracle that I figured this out, because I didn't do all of this. I just, on a whim, said, is it quadrillion? Is it?
Yeah.
And then I spelled out quadrillion, and I was like, quadrillion has 11 letters. So that was pure luck. Thank you, Burkestel. Thank for that one.
That's why when you said it, I was sitting here with my tongue bit the whole time.
Yeah. She's laughing at me. I just channeled
Strangely
her.
enough,
She was with
did,
me
yeah.
in that moment. She was.
both words begin with Q. I felt that this just had to be right.
Leon took a notepad from a pocket and spelled out quadrillion and Chirian. The two words even look similar at a glance. Thank you for the visual.
That's right. It's true that the 6 letters chosen by the key are right there inside quadrillion. So what happens if we take them out?
Dr. Lou. Oh, sorry, no, it's Erdlo.
Yeah.
That's right, I had
Erdlo.
taken Doctor and put it in front because those were the two that were next to each other. That's right, So I got Dr. Lou.
So it's Underlow right now.
Erdlo.
Oh. I'm assuming this is Leon's
still?
dialogue.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're left with 5 meaningless letters. However, the important thing is the number 5. After all, in the next part of the epitaph, the word kill appears 5 times. And then on the 9th twilight, none shall be left alive. In other words, there should be 5 letters left. On top of that, just as Battlerson guessed in the 5th game, 2 of these letters are close to each other. The D and the R. Those must be the 2 who are close.
So you separate them.
Once you reach this spot, the riddle has been practically solved.
Or, put another way, this is as far as you can go with the epitaph alone, because there's somewhere you gotta put it in. You might be able to figure out the answer with a little more wordplay, but you won't be able to activate the device. The device.
The device.
That's right. Once you know this much, all that remains is to gouge and kill.
Okay, and I said gouging and killing must be like a metaphor for, like, something that you're doing with a switch or something. You had a good idea of where the place was, even before you got this far, right? See, okay, now I'm blind. Now I don't... I mean, is there... There was a place Quadrillion was, wasn't there?
There was indeed.
Oh... Wait, let me think, because I don't want to tap next and have Claire be like, it's here, it's so... Where was
It
it?
was mentioned in the first episode.
In the first... Scan your brain, Levi. Scan your...
They stood outside and they saw it. And they
Stood
were like, "What does that
outside?
mean?" Yep. They saw it on the outside and they said, "What does that mean? It's in English." And George was like, "I can't remember. I think it's quadrillion."
The chapel? Was that the chapel?
It was at the chapel.
But that was on the outside of the chapel, right?
I believe it
It
was.
was on the outside? Is that the only place we've seen Quadrillion written out?
I think so. If not, there's one other place. But either way, it's the chapel.
Okay, so like... Go fiddle with the letters. Go...
Yeah.
See if they do something. See?
Yes. Some people suspected that the gold was hidden there even before the epitaph appeared. And because of the mysterious phrase that appeared there, it's only natural that I thought the place concealed some secret. What do you mean by the place?
The place with the device that opens the door to the Golden Land. A quick-witted person should be able to figure out where the first twilight is by now.
Huh? I thought the first twilight was quadrillion, not a place.
What if it's both, Leon? It's the place where quadrillion is written. You should know it. Or did you blindly follow Kinzo's orders and never go near it? 'Cause Kinzo told people never to go near the chapel!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man! Dr. Lou Nancho Tris confirmed.
Yep. And we keep going.
Okay.
We're not done with the epitaph yet.
How are you feeling? Because I know you're the one with time
Why?
constraints today.
Oh, I'm chilling. I got
Okay.
time.
Okay.
I'm gonna finish the book. We might have to stop before the final chapter, even though I don't want to, but we can definitely at least get through this chapter.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you saw. We've already talked about it. It says the day the witch revived. Is this
revived.
one.
So I'm assuming that means Beatrice finds the gold.
But who is Beatrice?
But who is Beatrice? I
Because Shannon and Canon didn't want to do this.
Yeah, but is that really true? Is that... Or, like I said, is there a part of Shannon that does want to do this? Or is it both of them? Is it a thing where it's like both of them are Beatrice? Together? Oh, gosh. Because just because they're saying they don't want to do it doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't. They can say one thing and then do another.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Quadrillion. There's only one place you'll find that word. On Rokkenjima.
Enzo's toilet.
Lord Ushiromiya's porcelain throne.
Exactly. Toilet theory's back.
Gold butterflies flitted from shadow to shadow, dodging raindrops. Toho player meme. Could you imagine that? It would just look like gold static.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless my memory is mistaken, this is probably the place.
It was the chapel. That mysterious building, one of the oldest on Rokkenjima, which had been built at the same time as the mansion. I'm just making sure before we keep going.
Yep.
It was called the chapel, but not once had Kinzo used it for worship, and the members of the family had never been allowed inside. There were strict orders that none approach it without reason, and its purpose has always been a mystery. However, all of these mysteries got boring after several decades. After some point, everyone forgot that the chapel even existed, and that splendid building passed from the thoughts of Rokkenjima's residents.
Now, how would Beatrice have known that Quadrillion was here?
Because she cleaned the chapel regularly as a servant.
Did she do it? I thought it
Did
was
she
someone
do
else.
it? Well, was it someone else?
What was her name again?
Yasuda. Of course, this had been true for Beato as well. Beato, who hated boredom, had no desire to approach places that humans never went. Her last memory was of the time she went in there to taunt Shannon as she tried to clean.
Interesting.
Is Shannon Yasuda? I mean, I've been working under the assumption that that has been the case for a minute now. But I've been thinking this has just been a whole, like, Shannon and Yasuda have been the same person this whole time, and it's been more of like everything that's been happening has been Yasuda Shannon in her own mind. Everything that's been happening with, like, the Beatrice stuff has been, like, the mind palace of Shannon, basically. That's what I've been working off of right now. Because as Ushiromiya Maria taught us when we were quiet and listened, was you can make your own world. Maria has her own world where she's got all her friends and everything, so who's to say, and Anja does as well, so who's to say that Shannon hasn't done the exact same thing?
But what if Shannon is just part of that world?
Or what if Shannon is just part of that world? What if the two Shannons thing is real? Because Yasuda is Shannon, quote unquote, but she's Yasuda. And she made another Shannon to be a part of that world. And so now this is Shannon, Yasuda, that we're looking at right now, who is Beatrice. Oh,
I don't know.
my head hurts.
We still-
I'm getting a headache.
yeah.
I'm getting.
But one other thing we're still stuck on is the fact that Shannon's real name is, what was it?
Sayo.
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 I can never remember if it's U or O, but and that hasn't come up yet. So
But is that also just because, I mean, you can have more than one name? And if I remember correctly, wasn't Yasuda her... Was that her family name? Am I crazy?
we never heard Shannon's family name.
No, I mean, the Yasuda, the character Yasuda, was that her family name?
Yasuda, that was her family name.
Yes.
That was
so,
the name
Sayo
given to
could
her
be
parents.
a given name, and then it could be Sayo Yasuda, or as they would say in Japanese, Yasuda Sayo. So, yeah. Beato. Well, I already read that. Her last memory, I already read that too.
Yep.
Because that's what got us on this tangent, was
Yeah.
her going in there to torment Shannon. Because if that's the case, you know, got Beatrice went in there to torment Yasuda.
There's only 2 chapters left. We're getting very close to it all being laid out. Hence why we're proceeding carefully. Anyway.
There can be no doubt. That is it. Quadrillion.
Beato looked up, above the door of the chapel. There was a relief displayed over an arch. Time to get a ladder. English words were written there.
You will be blessed only at a probability of a quadrillion to 1. So, you thought that was the probability of someone solving this riddle?
This chapel was built long ago. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
This chapel was built long ago. If there is a device like the one I imagine, Kinzo must have prepared that epitaph riddle many decades ago. He must have been planning to use it as a ceremony for choosing a fitting successor all that time. However, that ceremony is now a ceremony to open the door to the Golden Land and to my resurrection.
Oh, hey, the rain's gone.
Bye, Rain.
No, it's back.
It's back.
That's it.
When I snapped my fingers, the ground bulged and several snake-like dead trees sprouted up. They twisted around each other to form a ladder, which leaned itself against the door. If my guess is right, there's some sort of device in that relief. I slowly climbed the ladder. Because of the size of the door, the relief was very high up. This close up, it looks much bigger than it did from the ground. Come to think of it, whenever we cleaned the chapel, this relief was the only thing that Genji always made sure he polished himself. I always wondered why he didn't leave something so trivial to the younger servants.
Because it wasn't trivial at all.
I thought it was strange, but nothing more. The master treasured this relief, so the head servant cared for it himself. I always accepted that excuse. But now, I understand.
Does this mean that, by the way, does this mean that Genji also totally solved it and was just being a bro?
Well, I mean, like they said in the beginning, I think Genji knew a lot of this stuff. And so I think Genji was of the persuasion that he was like, I'm in on this. Whether he was or not, whether Kinzo believed that or not, is to be for discussion. But I think Genji is of the opinion that he's like, I'm part of this. I'm part of the riddle. Which would also explain why he's like trying to help people, right? Is because he's like, he's trying to get more people in on it and get people doing it and thinking about it.
I was just thinking about that he would have known the answers, and he was just like, no, I'll be chill.
Yep.
Anyway.
There must be something in this relief. And Genji polished it himself to make sure that no one else accidentally found out.
Quadrillion.
So, am I to sacrifice the 6 letters chosen by the key from Quadrillion? The tips of my fingers touched the Q. My fingertips were soon covered with dust. However, I quickly realized that there was something strange about it. Don't tell me this letter. No. It had to be like this. There would be no other way to offer up sacrifices.
Beato grabbed the letter Q, and after lightly playing around with it in various ways, she pulled it out with a slight clunk. Okay, I see the game here then. Remove all of the ones that aren't Lord Yu.
As I thought. Here's the Q I pulled out. And this part's a wedge. No. It's a key. A key was attached to the back of the Q, and had been stuck into a keyhole in the relief.
Okay, so if they all have keys on them, then is gouging and killing just turning them?
Maybe.
I
I see. In that case, I know what to do next. Very good. This Q key is a wrong answer. Enough with you.
Beato carelessly tossed the Q key aside. This was the first sacrifice. She kept on pulling out the keys for the 6 letters representing the key. Quadrillion.
So A will also be sacrificed. And both I's. And then the N at the end.
Ein.
Yes. Now I only sacrificed one L, but unfortunately there are 2 L's here.
There were 2 L's.
I didn't know which I should sacrifice. I tried pulling both out, but the keys were of different shapes. So one is a right answer, and one is a wrong answer. Well, there are only 2. If I make a mistake, I can just try the other one. Unless messing up sets off a trap that blows up the island, of course.
The Ushiromio explosion incident! Sorry, the Rokkenjima explosion incident! No! Beatrice!
Thinking it's a waste of time to sit here worrying, I decided on the rightmost L and pulled it out. 5 letters remain in the word.
Erdlo.
And now the first twilight is over.
Sorry, that should be Urlo.
On to the second twilight.
On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close.
The T and R are close. What does it mean to tear them apart?
If we're thinking about this being keyholes, I suppose just separating them so that they're in different keyholes.
Do I pull them out? But if I do, there will only be 3 letters left. By this point, I was able to make a good guess at what the gouge and kill lines meant. Gouge and kill probably means to turn the keys and take them out. In that case, the parts about going from head to leg must mean starting at the left and going right. If that's the case, there must be 5 characters left on the board. In other words, tear apart doesn't mean kill. If so, then we can read tear apart to mean putting a gap between the D and the R. But how? Once again, there are 2 ways to do it. Do I remove the D and move it to the left? Do I remove the R and move it to the right? After pondering this for some time, I realized that both choices were wrong. No, that's not right. I've had it wrong ever since I removed that L. A short while ago, I removed the right of the 2 L's. However, if I had removed the left one, it would look like this.
And then you can space it out evenly.
If you line it up this way, it's easy to see the next step. The R gets shifted to the right.
Also true, Onklid, that if you're remembering that correctly, that is crazy. That back in episode 3 when they were looking, or episode 3 or 2, whichever one it was in, where they were like looking at this, they were like, it kind of looks like the letters might have been like fiddled with a little bit too, so it looks weird. But because that would be a callback all the way to this right now that's happening.
Remove those. This way, all of the letters are spread out evenly. This must be it. In this next part, here's another tough one. Praise my name. It's already clear that this is a word game. Those who remain shall praise my noble name.
So now do you rearrange it to be Lord You in the spaces that they're in?
Just what are the remaining 5 letters supposed to do? Probably change their order to form a word. U-D-R-L-O. What should be done about these 5 letters? Praise my name. How can I get stuck after coming so far? How are these 5 letters supposed to praise a name? That man's name is Ushiromiya Kinzo. Is the U part of Ushiromiya? No, several letters don't match. There aren't nearly enough letters to make Ushiromiya.
It's actually how you spell it in English.
One thing is certain. My name must refer to Kinzo. Then does the U stand for Ushiromiya after all? Like an initial. Then what do the D, R, L, and O stand for? They can't mean Kinzo. Do the R and O stand for Rokkenjima? The master of Rokkenjima, Kinzo. Not nearly enough letters.
But what is a master?
This riddle left me totally confused. I quit. However, there were only 5 letters left. There can't be too many possible combinations of those letters.
She's doing what I did! This is how I figured it out.
Say what you will about Erica, she was right that it's easiest just to work backwards sometimes.
Yep.
I could use process of elimination. Thinking I'd played around with it, I pulled out the U. There were 4 letters left. D, R, L, and O. My idea that the U stood for Ushiromiya was like a heavenly oracle. When I removed the U, I thought of making a word with the remaining 4 letters. D, R, L, and O. Those 4 letters spun around in my head, changing their orders, and latched upon a single English word that would serve to praise Kinzo. It's Lord! Lord! I had absolutely no basis for it. However, it was like a flash of inspiration. I quickly changed the letters around before that flash faded from my mind. L-O-R-D. Lord. You. Ushiromiya. Lord Ushiromiya? On the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. Oh. It was a key, so it wouldn't have turned if it was the wrong one. But it did turn. I managed to gouge it. I gouged the first letter, the L, with a click, and then pulled it out. Next, 5th twilight. Gouge the chest and kill. The O was gouged and pulled out easily. Then the R. Next the D. And finally the U.
And that's it.
When I
It took
turned the
until
key of the
episode 7, but we finally saw the epitaph getting solved.
True,
Instead
if
of
you
just
chose
being
not
told
to-
that it was solved.
Yeah, if you wanted to not engage at all with any of the mystery solving and you wanted this purely read to you, this is when you would finally have it given to you.
Yep.
But you got it beforehand. Do you feel good? Are you going to go to Disney?
I didn't get all of it. I'd say I got like 50% of it.
You got enough to have solved it. If you were on
True.
Rokkenjima, you could have solved it.
True. True.
But anyway.
When I turned the key of the U, I could feel a resistance, as though some device had been activated.
But do you remember what happened in episode 5 after they supposedly solved it and couldn't find anything?
They couldn't find anything?
They didn't for a minute.
Wasn't it... Didn't Kinzo's, like, apparition appear in Point Battler somewhere?
Indeed.
Indeed.
I waited for something to change, but nothing did. However, I felt something happen. A secret door must have opened up somewhere around here. Waiting around won't accomplish anything. I've probably done everything I can here. All the letters in quadrillion have been removed. On the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. So this way, has the witch, have I, revived? The 10th twilight. At journey's end, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. When I stepped down off the ladder and looked around, I immediately noticed a small change. That lion statue. Do you notice a small change?
It's turned.
Mm-hmm.
It's facing somewhere.
At some point, the lion statue in front of the chapel had turned to face a different direction. How did that work? Did Kinzo plan up this extravagant device back when he first started building on this island? I walked up to the lion statue and stared at it. Other than the fact that it was pointing a different direction, nothing had changed. In that case, is the lion looking at something in particular now?
So, is Kinzo like a metaphor for the lion because he's the lord of the Ushiromi? I don't know, because you can't. That was part of the red for that episode. Was like you can't mistake Kinzo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. He hears me.
I followed its line of sight and saw another lion statue. And that lion statue had also changed its direction. Interesting. So, follow the lion guideposts. As intricate as ever, I see, Kinzo. I wasn't complaining anymore. I felt a bit of respect and awe at Kinzo for setting up such an intricate device and having it go undiscovered for all these years. There were lion statues standing like guardian deities at the entrance and the corners of the chapel. The direction they faced had changed, pointing around to the back of the chapel. There was something there. Oh. This was no longer a surprise. This was after the contraption with the letters. After being guided by the lions. So, when a gaping, open, secret passageway appeared with stairs leading down to the darkness below, it wasn't surprising to me anymore. So, is this the entrance to the Golden Land, Kinzo?
So in reality, the epitaph was solved in 1984.
It must have been. And recall in the episode 2, whenever everybody is dead in the chapel, and beforehand they all acknowledge Beatrice as the successor, or the acknowledge her in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they just came from the Golden Land.
Yep.
Did you find it? Grandfather's gold? Yes. It took ages and ages, but I had reached the Golden Land. I suppose technically it might be 1985, just because we don't know how much time elapsed, but point is.
According to the previous games, there was an underground VIP room there along with 10 tons of gold, right?
Yes. After going down a rough stairway, there was a door at the end of a passage. Inside it was beautifully furnished, a true VIP room.
And was the gold all you found there?
Yes, at the time. It would be a lie to say that I was not dizzied by the sight of all that gold stacked high.
Water? Banister? Gold! gold!
Remember how piddly it looked in the anime? Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna dunk on it anymore. It looked very piddly. Okay.
it did.
Is this real? I lightly touched the pile of gold with my finger. It was hard and cold. I must have imagined that it would crumble like a sandcastle if I touched it. Now, there could be no doubt. This certainly was a 10-ton pile of gold ingots. Huh. Considering the amount of gold I had just found, I figured I ought to be crying out in delight. I didn't really feel like laughing, and I thought it only good manners to do so in a situation like this, so I forced it out. Because of this, only a few feeble laughs slipped from my mouth. At that moment, even stronger than any delight was a feeling as though I'd entered a place I wasn't supposed to be. I couldn't think of what I should do next, now that the epitaph's riddle had been completed. Then, I heard approaching footsteps. It was coming from the stairway I'd entered by. Someone was coming. Could it be Kinzo? If he finds out I've been in a place like this, will I get scolded harshly? I thought about hiding and forgetting this ever happened, but my legs wouldn't move. I kept standing there, stunned, in front of the pile of gold. As the footsteps drew closer and closer, door opened, and I saw who it was. It wasn't Kinzo.
Thought it was gonna be Genji.
You.
Did you reach this place by your power alone?
Indeed.
For some time, Genji stared at Beato in silence, as though he was calculating something. Then, he slowly clapped his hands together. He did it again, over and over.
It took quite a long time before I realized that he was applauding me.
The master has said that he will hand over the gold and the headship to the first person who solves the epitaph. And he believed that this person would be Beatrice.
Beatrice? Me?
Why are you so confused by that? I thought you were Beatrice.
Exactly.
This is fate. It is fate that brought you to this day.
I didn't really understand what Genji was saying. Surely the shock of seeing the gold still had me paralyzed.
Come this way.
Okay.
Genji opened a closet. Inside it was a torso wearing a beautiful dress made of black cloth and golden stitching.
When I saw it, I understood immediately. It was the witch's dress. The black dress worn by the Beatrice in the portrait.
Change into this. It is something you once wore.
I've never worn a dress like this. However, I understood what Genji meant. This dress was one that Beatrice once wore. And the one who displays a miracle by solving the epitaph is Beatrice. By reaching this room, I succeeded the position of the real Beatrice. The one in the portrait. Why do I call myself Beatrice? Because the name of the Golden Witch, who rules over Rokkenjima's night, is Beatrice. That's right. I wasn't the real Beatrice. I was a different witch, stealing the name of the witch from Kinzo's delusions. And now, I've succeeded the real Beatrice. By solving the epitaph's riddle, my resurrection will be complete. I was the one who decided on that rule. However, it really was a ceremony to resurrect Beatrice. In the past, I believed that I could create my own fate with my magic. How ironic that one who could control magic at will would be guided by fate to this place. At that moment, I had no choice but to truly accept and believe in this word called fate. And after I put this on,
You will go to the master. Ready yourself. Someone upstairs in my house just dropped something large and heavy.
well, sorry, that was my 10 tons of gold.
Wait here. Yeah, true,
Okay.
Onkled. Master, it is Genji. After Genji knocked, the sound of the study's door unlocking could be heard.
After a single glance telling me to wait, Genji entered alone. I cannot believe that this day has come. Fate can be such a strange thing. Kumasawa was with us too. I thought this dress, which didn't really suit me, would lead to a lot of jokes, but she didn't laugh at me at all. On the contrary, when she saw me, her expression had turned stern, as though a long-awaited day had finally come. My heart raced. Supposedly, anyone should have been able to solve the epitaph. There shouldn't be anything strange about me solving it. Genji and the others kept wearing serious expressions, and that, along with everything else, made this feel like some sort of grand ceremony. Suffocating silence continued. Eventually the door opened, and Genji peeked out.
Enter. Beatrice Sama.
You were saying those words to me, but not to the person I had been until a short while ago. Go ahead, Beatrice Sama. Kumasawa also urged me forward with a respectful bow. Kinzo was probably waiting for me inside. What expression should I wear as I go in? How should I greet him? I don't have a clue. As the two of them motioned me forward, it was all I could do to avoid tripping over my dress as I walked.
Oh, hi, Nacho. Kinzo-san. She is here. Kinzo was crouched on the ground, as though kneeling before the portrait of Beatrice. At Nanjo's words, he slowly turned, still crouching.
Oh! Oh!
Kinzo's eyes were already red with crying.
When he saw me, he groaned with wonder.
Beatrice. Beatrice.
Had he even forgotten how to stand up? He crawled over to where I was, calling out to me with the name of the woman he had loved long ago. I was too stunned to move. Kinzo grabbed the hem of my dress, gripped it tightly, and curled up and sobbed.
Beatrice! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I knew how you felt, and yet I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please, please forgive me.
Words weren't directed at me. However, just standing here like this was all I needed to do. Kinzo's moment of atonement, the moment he had spent half of his life searching for, would finally come.
I'm checking.
Yep.
Okay. A human's life is stained with sin. So, humans seek forgiveness while they still live. However, in most cases, the person capable of granting such forgiveness is no longer on this earth. It was like that for Kinzo, too. The one he sought no longer existed in this world. Instead, that forgiveness had been woven together by a miracle, and now, Kinzo had received it.
Oh, Beatrice! Beatrice! You need not forgive me. You need not say anything. I simply needed to apologize to you just once. Oh!
Kinzo kept grasping the dress's hem and sobbing. The sins of humans are not forgiven from without. Forgiveness is found through regret and repentance.
I want to believe that some sin, some fault of his, has been forgiven thanks to the way I look. Okay. Kinzo's sobbing gradually ceased. He slowly looked up at me and rose. He looked unsteady. Nanjo rushed forward to support him.
Is he gonna die?
So, I see that you are alive. I'm glad.
This time, these words weren't directed through me, but at me. I hesitated, unsure how I should respond.
I beg your forgiveness for keeping this a secret from you all this time.
No matter. I do not fault you, Genji. Considering the sin that I committed, every single day until now has been necessary for my atonement.
However, there can be no doubt that today's miracle is a true one. By her own power, without anyone's help, she solved the epitaph before anyone else.
Well done. Solving such a difficult epitaph.
Thanks.
Indeed. Your voice resembles your mother's. Even your face reminds me of that mother and daughter. There can be no doubt that Beatrice's blood flows through your veins.
Yes. The traces of the Lady of Kuwadorian in her youth are right there. Does my face look like someone else's?
Beatrice-sama, please forgive me for keeping this a secret even from you. Your parents are Beatrice-sama and the Master.
What? It's true. Until now, you have been raised as a child without parents. However, your true father is the Master. Your true mother is Beatrice-sama. Is that, Really?
Yes. You truly are a descendant of Beatrice-sama.
Such a strange fate. Really possible? I've dreamed about it. Dreamed about what it'd be like to be the Golden Witch Beatrice. But that dream had been mine alone. I dreamed that if I solved the epitaph and carried out its ceremony, I would revive as the true Beatrice. So is it okay to believe that since I've solved it, Beatrice really has revived? I truly carry Beatrice's blood?
Yes. There is no doubt of that whatsoever.
It must have been hard for you to live until this day without knowing a parent's affection. And yet, look at how wonderfully you've grown. So, you all knew about me? Genji,
Okay, go. Go.
Genji, Kumasawa, and even Nanjo nodded wordlessly. Now that I think about it, there might have been lots of hints. I've always felt as though there was something special about me. Genji, and especially Kumasawa, always treated me very kindly. Then, does that mean this day is a promised day, which would eventually have come no matter what? I don't understand anything anymore. It's all a miracle from God. Promised fate has led me to this day.
Beatrice. No. Leon.
Hmm?
That is the name I wanted to give you.
It is your true name.
Leon. I will now return to you everything that Beatrice gave me. I return to you the gold, as well as everything of the Ushiomiya family, which was created by it.
Kinzo stuck out a hand that looked like a rotted tree. On his finger was a ring with the one-winged eagle crest, a symbol of the Ushiomiya family head. He pulled it off, grasped it tightly, and then held it out to me. I didn't know what to do. Slowly, as though they were being drawn forward, I held up my hands, palms up. After pressing his fists against my cupped hands, Kinzo slowly opened his hands and let the ring drop.
Leon, my child. All the ways your fate has been toyed with until today were caused by my sins. Please forgive me. You will now inherit my ring. You are the new Ushiomiya family head. All of that gold belongs to you. I ask that you use it as you please, and hope that it will be enough to heal some small part of the pain you have suffered. That trifling amount of gold may be nothing in comparison with the sin I committed. But even so, it should be enough to bring you some comfort.
Thank you.
Leon, I have one final request.
What is that?
Could you call me?
Sorry, what did you say?
Could you call me Father? I understand why you were not able to. I have not been a father to you in any way. Furthermore, you have been raised without knowing anything about a father. I realize that it's not a name you can call me by. And I realize that I have no right to ask this of you. But even with that in mind, please, if I could just hear that, I would have no further regrets.
After being asked like that, could I possibly have refused? Even if I am his child, I truly cannot acknowledge him as my father. So it felt very strange to say it. And yet, I decided that saying it was the right thing to do. Only God can truly forgive sins. But though it may be temporary, people can be saved by the forgiveness of others.
Yes.
Father. That awkward word made Kinzo laugh. Drops of silver fell from both of his eyes. At that moment, the shadow that had covered his face wiped away.
Thank you, Leon, my child, and Beatrice as well. Thank you for this last chance to ask for forgiveness. Of course, I don't believe that I have been forgiven by this alone. I shall atone for the rest as I burn in the fires of hell. I, Ushiomi Akinzo, have no more regrets in this life. None at all. No regrets or matters left unfinished.
Looking up to the heavens, Kinzo spread his arms as though facing an applauding audience, laughing at the top of his lungs.
That's me.
Huh?
I'm the audience.
You're the applauding audience
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
It was the flame of pleasure known only by those who've been released from all regrets of this world. Kinzo's laugh weakened, and when it disappeared, he dropped to his knees, like a puppet with its strings cut, and slowly fell to the ground. Master!
Dr. Nanjo. Yes.
Though their master had fallen, he walked up to him slowly. He already knew. Kinzo's soul had already burned itself out.
He was just holding on until he could get this.
Yep.
After checking Kinzo's pulse, Nanjo shook his head and stood back up.
It was a peaceful death. I don't think he had any regrets at all.
It may be that the master died long before now. It was only his magic and tenacity that kept him here so long. And he finally had a chance to apologize to Beatrice Summer for everything, and finished everything he had to do.
Please. Rest in peace. I believe that you have redeemed yourself.
Father, it was the one-night reunion between me and my father, and also our final farewell.
This gold all belongs to you now. If you wish to exchange it for money, I can arrange for that.
I hear it's worth 20 billion yen. From here on, any of your dreams in this world can be granted with money.
It must be tough to think of what to do with this much money when it suddenly comes your way. There is nothing I desire among the things money can buy. So for the present, I would like to leave this here. Of course, I'm glad I have a lot of money. However, money can't heal the pain in my heart. I just want him to come back.
As you wish. Then it shall be left here. Also, take this key.
What is this?
It is a key to the underground VIP room. If you use this, you won't need to use that entrance contraption. She was the only one who knew the answer to the epitaph's riddle, and the only key to this place was now hers. At this point, she truly was the master of this golden VIP room. You are already the master of Rokkenjima. You have the right to know all of this island's secrets. We should talk about Kuwadorian, too.
That's right. Oh, what? I invented the word right? Where did it happen there? What? That's the mansion your mother lived in. I'm sure you've heard rumors about it. The Dorian.
There are two mansions on this island, one at either end. One is the mansion we know well. The other is a hidden mansion, known as Kuwadorian.
Below this island are the remains of a military base built during the war. Master used that to travel between the two ends of the island.
There is an underground path in the back of this room, and if you follow it, you will reach the basement of Kuwadorian on the other end of the island. That is a secret mansion, which only the Master knew of. Of course, that mansion also now belongs to the new head. It's the mansion your mother lived in. It will probably be worth taking a trip over there sometime.
My mother. I've lived alone my whole life. The only person I've ever felt like calling mother is Kumasawa-san, who always helped me out. So, there's a mansion where a mother I've never met nor seen lived. Who exactly am I?
Ask any questions you wish. You now deserve to know everything.
Alright, before we begin it, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick, so take some time to chat with the audience.
Okay. Well, gang. What a slew of answers we've gotten today, huh? They don't call it the Answers Arcs for nothing. The epitaph was figured out completely. We got to watch it happen. It wasn't just like in the past where it was like, yeah, it happens. We're not going to show you how, though. What I'm thinking, while he's gone, what I'm thinking is this Yasuda, who is Leon, who is the man from 19 years ago, was a servant of the Ushiromiya family, worked as a servant for a while, fell in love with Battler, was using Shannon as a sort of cover in the story for who they were. It was an analogy for who they were. Because they knew Shannon, they had created Shannon as sort of part of their world, right? And perhaps the same for Canon, as their furniture. And then, as the years went by, there was another servant who was like Shannon, who fell in love with George, obviously, but Yasuda fell in love with Battler. All that stuff was real, that happened, and then she eventually decided, I'm not going to be a servant for the family anymore, I'm just going to do my own thing, and kind of, I guess, ended up living in and around the island in secret, in which the servants, Genji and Kumasawa, took care of her, and, like, raised her, and that's why Genji and Kumasawa are kind of who she considers, like, her mother and father figures, right? And then all of this happened. And, yeah. I'm still not completely sure about how the Shannon and Canon analogy works 100%, because I do also think they are very real people at the same time. Perhaps she post meeting them as servants applied that to the past versions of them. Yeah, Battler and Beatrice are related. They would be cousins. They would be they would be first cousins because they're both grandchildren of Kinzo, which is unfortunate. But
Okay, I'm back.
welcome back. Now I'm gonna go use the bathroom because I also have had to use the bathroom really bad. Talk with
Alright.
Onklet about what he just said in chat because that's what I was talking about. Bye bye.
Okay. Let me take a look. Yeah, I won't say much, but that's kind of what we're about to get into. They're going to lament the unfortunate nature of Beatrice. It goes deeper than just Battler and Beatrice being related. But it's very unfortunate. Because we still have some mystery left. One can see that because Battler didn't come back, therefore Beatrice caused all the murders. But I think, right now, it's very hard to picture this person doing all these terrible murders and such, right? So, we're missing a crucial connection. We're missing a crucial why done it, a crucial motive. And it's a lamentable fate. It's what it is. It's just like what, was it Will that had said that earlier this chapter? If Battler didn't come back, if he had come back 1 year earlier, or 1 year later, the thing that happened in 1986 wouldn't have happened. But he did come back on 1986, so it did happen. I will also say while we wait for Levi, this chapter, we're probably about done. This is listed as the last song that's played in the chapter. This will probably be our last one.
I am back.
Okay, which is unfortunate because there's only one chapter left, but
Oh, we still got tea
You might-
parties and question marks.
that's what I think we'll do is like Thursday, we'll just do the last chapter, the tea party question mark.
Yep.
It'll probably be better that way anyway because the tea party is really long.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. So, right now, I'm feeling very confused. I don't even know where I should start asking questions. But I'm sure I'll think of plenty of things to ask about. And when I do, please tell me.
As you wish.
Also, being treated so respectfully like that is a bit uncomfortable. I'd be happy if you could talk to me the same way you've always done.
If that is what you wish, then I will do so.
That's easier for me, too.
Well now. What will we do now, Genji-san? Kenzo-san is dead. I will tell Kraus-sama and Madam that he has passed away. Then, we must tell them that Leon-sama is the official successor to the headship. After all, from this point forth, you are the Ushiromiya family head.
Me as the head? And isn't Kraus-sama the successor?
The one who solves the epitaph's riddle is the successor. There exists a will specifying this much. Ooh! It's in writing! The Master's final order was that you were to inherit everything.
But please wait. I appreciate the sentiment, but I can't do the job of being the successor. And I can't accept such a big responsibility. I think it would be better for Kraus-sama to inherit that role.
Are you certain?
Today, I have learned who I am. Everyone knows about their parents, but I didn't since the time of my birth. And here, today, I finally learned the truth. That alone is enough for me.
But what if you used this long scheme to get your mans back?
If I suddenly became the Ushiromiya family head, how would Kraus-sama react? How angry would Madame be? I don't want to become the head if it means making them feel like that.
Honestly, I feel like Kraus would be a little disappointed, but probably mostly relieved.
Yeah.
Natsuhi would be pissed.
Yeah, she would be very upset.
Natsuhi would be very
damn.
angry, but I think Kraus would be like, oh, all right.
You know who else would be really mad? Ava.
Yeah. Rudolph, Kraus, and Rosa, I think, would be... They would at first be like, what the? But then they would accept it. But Ava and Natsuhi would be livid.
The ultimate uniting factor.
Oh my god!
Huh.
The one thing that can unite Natsuhi and Ava.
Yep.
Today, I learned who I am. Who gave birth to me? How and when? These are things I want to learn from them as time goes by. That alone is enough. I am Leon. And I am the Golden Witch Beatrice. Knowing that is enough for me. I don't plan on calling myself the head. Kraus-sama can take that job.
Is that your order, as the Ushiromiya family head?
Yes.
As you wish, Master. Then I will make it so.
And please, don't tell anyone about what happened tonight. I want to stay me. There's nothing I'd want to do with the Ushiromiya headship or the gold. Just... I want to wait. Here on this island. As I have done in the past. I want everything to be exactly the same as it was.
Finger on the monkey's paw curls.
That's my only wish.
As you wish, Master. Everything that has happened tonight will not go beyond those present here. Kumasawa, Dr. Nanjo. That is the wish of the new head.
If that's what you want, I have no objections. Kinzo-san's will entrusted everything to you. If this is what you want to do, none of us will complain.
You say exactly the same as it was.
She's getting that look on her face. She's getting...
But do you really mean exactly the same? With no differences at all? Yes. We'll keep this a secret. This place in the gold will be sealed away. If I need money, I'll ask you about it then. That's enough for me.
As you wish. The device leading to this place and the key both belong to you, and all of us swear to keep the events of this night a secret. Kraus-sama will be the successor, but in my heart, you will be the only true successor. As you have ordered, we will behave the same way we always have, but please order us whenever it suits you. You are my only master.
Thank you very much.
God!
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
A vast mountain of gold, and the ring of the Ushiromiya family head, the dress of the portrait Beatrice, and I became the true Beatrice, the Golden Witch, right here in my very own Golden Land. If I think about it, not much has actually changed. After all, I've always been the Golden Witch. I've just had a few more people acknowledge that. November 29th, the day I became a true witch.
Does that date sound familiar?
Is
You
it,
got it?
no. Is it someone's birthday?
once in one of the games in question,
Was it the
I forget
numbers?
which one, there was a code written
And
that
one
said
was Battler's
0715
birthday. And one was her day she became a witch.
1129, the birthday of Beatrice.
Dang.
Oh, I am one yet many. I am the Golden Witch, Beatrice, the true ruler of Rokkenjima, and the possessor of endless gold. And yet, I am in no way complete. I await the return of the one person I love.
That's it.
It's a chapter.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
While you were gone, I told my new sort of roundabout theory I've created.
Yeah.
Which still very much just like the Shannon was. It's not complete at all, but there's workings there, which is this Yasuda person was and is and has always been the man from 19 years ago, Leon. Was raised as a servant because of the Genji thing where he was like, I feel pity for them. And so they're going to be raised as a servant here. Either created the image of Shannon as what was ideal for them to be like as a servant, or when they met Shannon years later, they like post-rewind put that image of Shannon on what that ideal servant was for them, which is why Shannon was there. And because they wanted to be that ideal servant, they were Shannon, quote unquote, but they weren't really Shannon, they were Yasuda. They fell in love with Battler during the time they were a servant. And then at some point just decided, like, I don't want to be a servant anymore. And so then they just started basically living on the island in secret, and Genji and Kumasawa were taking care of them. And that, again, that also, this was before they said the thing, but when she was like, talk to me like you always have, that's why Genji and Kumasawa are like her parental figures, because they basically raised her. And then all of this occurred, obviously. And like, this is when she's grown up a little bit more, so now she started to look much more like her mother, and so she started to actually look like Beatrice. And everything that just occurred was like real. The whole, she solves it, go in, Kenzo's like, oh, all that.
Yeah.
That's my running theory now.
Okay.
Which still, when I talked about it, I was like, I'm still not 100% sure of like, because I think Shannon and Canon are very real, and they are servants that serve the family, but I'm not sure like to what extent that is now. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be like an analogy for who Beatrice is, or like if because I really don't know. They are probably the most confusing part of this now for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a way, she is Shannon, but not Shannon. Because like she's kept saying, I am one but many, she has incorporated that ideal into herself, and it was a part of her at one time, but she, as any person does, she has grown and become more than that now as well.
I think you're starting to get onto something. Remember, was it just in the very last game, or maybe it was 2 games ago, that Canon mentioned that the master favored him for some reason?
Yes, which is why I'm very confused about Shannon and Canon. They have become, after all this information has been revealed to me, they have now become the most confusing part and point for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wear the one-winged eagle. And it seems like they are supposed to be actually secretly related to Kinzo in some way. But again, I was very confused about Canon. And now I'm not so sure about Shannon either, because there's either 2 Shannons, one of which is Yasuda, and isn't actually Shannon, but was the Shannon of the past, and now there's another Shannon, or there's always only been one Shannon, and there's some weird stuff going on with like our perception because of the way the story is being told through Yasuda. I think. I'm not sure.
There's a lot to go on there.
Yep.
Although, I think you're onto something with the idea that Shannon is an ought self.
Yeah.
Or, not ought, what is that? Ideal.
ideal self. She's the image
Yeah.
of what she wants to be.
She's what she wants to be.
Okay.
But then what does that make Kenon and Beatrice?
And Kenon helps Beatrice realize he's the one who helped egg Beatrice become full Beatrice again. So are they
He's
like
the one.
Is Kenon like the real self? Whereas Shannon is the
Remember-
ideal self?
At the end of last episode, Kenon was able to get Battler out of the
Yes.
room.
Yes.
But he didn't exist in the room.
Yes. Oh god.
So.
What? Oh, Answers Arcs really does just give you more questions, doesn't it?
Not for long, because the next chapter is the last chapter, and that's when literally everything is revealed.
Okay. I'm saving.
We're getting ready to the really cool moment I've been waiting for, but it'll have to wait till Thursday, which isn't very long from now.
Well,
Actually, I should change that. We're not going to be able to do the next episode until next year.
I haven't seen you guys since last year. I haven't.
well,
Ah.
suppose we'll see you then. Any other announcements, though, besides we're streaming Thursday and gonna see you then for the conclusion, hopefully, of episode 7?
I think there ought to be a podcast tomorrow,
Yeah.
and then more Umineko on Sunday as well.
Umineko
Thursday
on
and
Sunday.
Sunday.
And hopefully Sunday will be the start of episode 8.
The beginning of the end.
Whew. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm glad we did it, though. We're not even at the end yet. I shouldn't start getting sentimental. We're not even there
True,
yet.
8's long.
So, we'll see all of you next time.
Yeah, bye.